Welcome back everyone to another tutorial. Today I want to demonstrate how you could set up a double jump within your Playmaker and also make it so that if you fall you can still at least jump once, and also you can have a short Coyote time and still jump twice. But if you're not fast enough you will only be able to jump once and not twice. And you can of course jump back up. So I've set up the scene and the old characters are still here and the new character has still the FSMs from last time. There's also a dash. I will show in the next video how to do a dash. It's pretty cool. And I removed the old jump as I'm gonna make a new jump here. So I'm gonna add a new FSM and gonna zoom it out a little bit, start in the middle, and I'm gonna call this the jump FSM. And we're going to start with the first state, which is the input state. And I want to have two events here. I'm going to make some new events here. I'm going to make a jump event, and I'm also going to make a falling event. And while I'm at it, I'm also going to make a double jump, a double jump event. And finished, we of course have, yeah, that sounds good. Let's have these three events for now. And I'm going to add transitions. I'm going to be adding transition of jump and also I'm going to add a transition of falling. And the first actions I want to have in my input is actually to set my bool, animator bool. Animator, what? There it is. Set animator bool of the specified object, which is the sprite. And here it's grounded. And I'm gonna check the value because as long as I'm here, I'm on the ground. And what else I want to get is get button down. And this will be the jump. Jump button and send event jump. Very good. And to detect that I'm actually falling, I'm going to change. I'm going to get the velocity to D. And I'm going to use the owner here. And I'm going to do an y speed and a new variable which will be called y speed. And I want to check this every frame. And what I'm going to do is make a float compare. And the float compare will use the y speed. And I'm going to compare it with -1. And I want to have less than -1. And then I'm falling. I'm going to also check this every frame. Right. I just don't like the order, as always. I should make it the other way around, I suppose. So the setting the bool always here, it will be the value. I'm grounded unless I'm pushing on get button down and unless I'm gonna fall, which is by getting the velocity, and then I'm gonna compare it. And then I'm falling. I'm gonna use every frame for these two items. Right, so let's make the first jump here. This state will be jump. And here I will have two transitions. One will be the finished. When finished, I'm just going to go back. I jumped once and fell back on the ground. Or I'm going to go to the double jump. And within this section, I'm going to set the velocity. Set velocity to D. And I'm going to remove this one to none. And here, a y speed, I'm going to make a new variable. And I'm going to call this jump force. Now you don't need to put a new variable. You can also just press this one, or actually if you press here you can just put a number, but I want to use jump force, and in variables going to jump force I'm going to enable to see it in the inspector in controls, so I can change it here. And for now I'm just going to put here 7, can be whatever you like, whichever fits your game. And that's the, I'm not going to put every frame here, then it will go up very fast, so only once. Then I'm going to set the animator bool from grounded to not grounded anymore. And here I need the sprite again. And the parameter grounded, I can select it right away. And I'm not grounded anymore. Last time I checked it, so now it's unchecked. And I'm going to set the animator trigger. If you remember in my first video, animator trigger. We have a trigger for jump. If you didn't check the first video, here's the link, and at the end you can set up the jump, or at the beginning you set up, let's say, the animator. So we have the animator here, which idle, one, and a jump. And with those, there are these speed, grounded, and jump, float, bool, and a trigger. Right, let's go back. Sorry for that. So I'm gonna set animator trigger again on the sprite to jump. And it knows, because I'm looking for a trigger, it can only find the jump trigger. And now I'm going to do two things. So at this point, the bool is set to not ground anymore. You're going up in the air and you're jumping. Your jumping animation should go. And what I'm gonna add here is get button down. And here I'm just gonna get button down from this one. Just gonna remove this one. And instead of send event jump, I'm gonna go to the double jump. But the bottom will still be the jump, which is the space bar. And if you remember in the project settings, the jump is a name of a button, and this one's always connected to space by default. If it's different in your project, make sure to cross-check this, that this is the right name. Right. Double. And in case I have now a collision, collision to the event, so I'm not going to do the double jump. I'm going to collide with the ground again. On collision, enter ground. Where's the ground? There it is. I'm just going to go to finished. And in case of finished, I'm going to fly back to here, because I didn't do the double jump, but I want to be able again to do a double jump. Right, so that's the first part. You should now be able to jump already. Test it if you like. Make sure maybe to connect back. You'll be able to jump once, because even if you press now twice, it won't fly to another event. Now I'm going to make another state here, which is a state which I thought about. I'm going to call this the Coyote time. I hope I spelled Coyote correct. And here I want to have two transitions. One is the jump, and again the transition falling. And I'm going to connect this one here, and the jump, of course, here. Sorry, I didn't connect it yet. The jump goes to the jump, falling goes to Coyote time, and the jump here goes to jump, and the falling here goes to, say, jump number 2, double jump. So let's set this up. And what is a Coyote time? I want to enable the player to have a couple of frames, and I'm just going to put in 0.3 seconds. And after 0.3 seconds, I will actually keep falling. But if I get button down, within 0.3 seconds, I jump again. And here's the jump again. And then I want to jump. So I give the player a little bit of time. So if you missed it, that you don't drop down right away, but you can actually jump. You could actually also make this in your normal jump. If you only want your player to jump once, try to include this in your Playmaker setup. But today I'm just gonna make the double jump. So here's the jump and the falling. So two events. After 0.3 seconds, I will continue to the next state, which is still the falling state. And this is the fall or jump state. Fall or jump, which means I can either get button down again, in which case I will double jump. And here I'm gonna say jump again. Or let's add this, semicolon double jump, or at transition, I'm gonna add the transition of actually just not falling anymore, because I'm gonna add the transition of finished, because if I don't do anything there, it's just finished. I'm done with this one. No more chance. And so I add a fall on the ground. For example, if I fall down here, it will trigger the Coyote time very shortly. You don't trigger the Coyote time, it will keep falling. And until I'm above the ground, I can still jump for the second jump. But if I'm hitting this ground, I want to reset again. So here I'm going to add the collision to the event again, which I'm going to copy from here and press it here. And colliding on the ground, finished. Of course, if I collide into a kill floor, the kill floor should bring me up again to my checkpoint. And in that case, I have a collision again and should be at the start. To make sure that this happens in your game, if you have the respawn initiated, that this works. And if it doesn't work, then try to make your respawn a little bit above the ground so you have this collision event again. Great. And here, let's drag this a little bit down here. And here is then one more state. This is the double jump, or second jump, you can call it, whichever you like. And the second jump actually only has one transition, which is finished, but it has a very similar setup like the first jump, as in we're going to set the animator bool. We're also going to set the animator trigger here, because in case you're falling, the trigger to jump will never be set by default. So specify owner again. I could also just copy it over, but I just want to show it to you easily. And here the trigger is jump, grounded, unchecked, because here it's checked. These are the two bools. And set velocity to the, so I'm just going to drag up, make sure this is zeroed out. And the y-axis, I'm going to do jump force, which is 7. Now, my second jump is just as high as my first jump. You can also make it a way to change this and don't use a variable and just write there a number. And then, for example, your second jump will be a little bit lower. Don't select every frame for this one. We don't want that. And here also don't set any frame. What else do we want here is, again, get velocity to the, putting it on top again. So you actually hit space here or here for the double jump, and that's why you fly into the double jump. You don't have to put any space here anymore, because you selected there a jump, and here you also pressed it by space. So it will initiate going up right away. And here we're gonna get the velocity of the owner, and I want to see the y speed every frame. And I'm gonna do a float compare. A float compare between the y speed minus 0.3, just a slight minus, and less than, then I'm finished. Every frame, make sure to select every frame. Add a state here, and this is just the collision, final collision. And here we just have only this one, the collision to the event on the ground, because after the second jump, I only want to wait to collide, to either collide or fall on the kill floor. So there shouldn't be anything else jeopardizing that. Finished. And I'm back at the input. And now the circle is complete. And now let's test if it actually works. It went all very fast. We didn't test anything in between. I'm just going to leave it full screen now. I'm jumping, big jump, double jump, Coyote time. Actually, I was just falling and I can double jump again. Coyote time, jump, jump. Yes, Coyote time works. What else do we need to test? If I fall, we had that. Yeah, let's fall and then right before jump one more. I could not jump once more. And you can see the better jump effect here once again. Now, of course, it's a little bit unfair to show it without having Playmaker open. So jump and back. That's one jump, a big jump or a small jump. And as I said before, the small jump or big jump are handled by this better jump script. If you can see the Coyote time, or I'm too late, then it goes down and I can only jump once. I hope you liked it. One thing, of course, I want to mention is that you can, of course, add some effects, some sounds, and I would add a sound here at actual jump. You can just do play sound, and I think I have a jump sound. Ah, there it is. Maybe this one. Play sound, and here as well. I just put it in now like this. I hope it works. Let's see. It's very quiet, but you can hear it. You could also spawn a particle effect. If you want to spawn a particle effect, you can, what I would recommend is to add a empty here and drag it perhaps to the feet. And this is then your particle spawner. And on the player, again here on the jump, you can create an object, also object advanced, but I would only make it like to stick. Perhaps let's use object advanced and specify game object, which is the player. And spawn point is the particle spawner. No. Ah, here we go, sorry. This has to be the player, and the game object is actually here. Now I'm not sure if I have any cool prefabs animations somewhere here. I don't know. There you go, particle effects. These stay here. I don't really have so many cool things. I'm not so sure, but let's just for the sake of demonstration add something. I'm gonna spawn electric 1. I hope it's short. And the position is at the spawn point. And let's just have this here. Or perhaps have a different one on the second one, so the second jump is like a magic jump, and you can also make it in a way that the second jump will cost you mana or like magic points. Let's just see if this works. Sorry if it doesn't. Okay, there's also a sound on the particle effect. But as you can see, yeah, that's quite funny. Of course, you can have better particle effects than me. I'm pretty sure. For the dash, I will also add a particle effect. But now you've got a little electric farting character. Good, I hope it helped. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial for the double jump, and I think I've optimized the jump here a little bit. So also apply this to your first jump, especially the Coyote time. I think that's a good feature to have, otherwise your character will just jump, fall right away. So thank you, please subscribe if you liked the video. See you next time. And I also hope you like the 50 subscribers special. Cheers. See you. Bye bye.